In a world enamored with noise where volume is mistaken for value and constant expression is confused with wisdom, the Stoic walks another path, one of silence, restraint, and deep, often unseen power. This discourse is not for those who seek approval, but for those who seek truth. It's not for those who crave recognition, but for those who value peace. True strength, the Stoic teaches, is not measured by how loudly we speak, but by how calmly we endure. Vite is not in our declarations, but in our discipline. It's not in our defiance, but in our self-command. In the great silence of the soul, there is a weight few understand, a quiet force built not from bravado, but from bearing, from waiting, from walking through storms without shouting at the sky. The Stoic does not waste energy proving his worth. He lives it. We begin with silence. Silence is not the absence of voice, it is the presence of understanding. It's choosing not to respond to every insult, not because you are weak, but because you are wise. Seneca wrote, "It is better to conquer our grief than to deceive it. Likewise, it is better to still our anger than to broadcast it." The one who can remain silent in the face of provocation possesses a might that thunder cannot match. But silence is also listening, listening to what is not said. It's listening to the stirrings of your own conscience, your own breath, your own heartbeat. In silence, the soul speaks, and in listening, the Stoic grows. This kind of silence is rare, and it is powerful. It's not imposed by external force, it's chosen, cultivated, and deeply intentional. This intentional silence acts as a mirror. In it, we see ourselves more clearly. We confront not the world's noise, but our own, our insecurities, our impulses, our need to be seen, heard, validated. The Stoic silences not just the voice, but the ego. And silence makes room for reflection, for clarity, for truth to emerge unforced, like water rising through the cracks in stone. In a noisy world, silence is rebellion. It is the soft power of those who are unbothered by attention, unshaken by judgment, and untethered from performance. It is the decision to inhabit one's soul fully, rather than constantly performing for the crowd. The Stoic asks, what would happen if you didn't speak to win, didn't argue to be right, didn't post to be praised? What would remain if all the noise were stripped away? What remains, if you're honest, is often discomfort. But discomfort is not our enemy, it's our teacher. The one who can sit in silence, endure its weight, and still find peace. This one knows a strength the world cannot comprehend. Silence reveals truth. Silence is the practice of meeting yourself as you truly are, without distraction, without excuse, without the buffering of noise. In this silence, you confront your unmet desires, your unspoken fears, your hidden attachments, and slowly you begin to dissolve the illusions that the noise has built around you. This is not a single act, but a practice. Each day, the Stoic retreats into silence, not to escape the world, but to engage with it more truthfully. In silence, you ask, what truly matters? What am I giving my energy to? Who am I without the world's applause or criticism? In this quiet space, priorities realign. Superficial concerns lose their grip. And what remains is the foundation of character. Stillness sharpens perception. When you are no longer consumed by reaction, you begin to see patterns, the patterns of your own mind. The repetitive hooks the world uses to steal your attention, and you reclaim it, one breath at a time. In a world that prizes the loud, the quick, and the constant, the Stoic becomes a guardian of the slow, the quiet, and the deliberate. He does not withdraw out of weakness. He withdraws to fortify. Silence becomes his shield, his clarity, his power. Rises a life not dictated by the chaos outside, but shaped from the calm within. Restraint is not simply the refusal of indulgence, it is the art of command over oneself. In a world that rewards immediacy, those who wait become rare, and in their rarity, powerful. To practice restraint is to understand that not everything which demands your energy deserves it. Not every offense needs an answer. Not every impulse deserves your obedience. It is the realization that you are not obligated to attend every argument you're invited to. You are not duty-bound to react to every provocation hurled your way. The Stoic pauses. He lets the wave of emotion pass before he speaks, before he acts. This is not weakness. It is sovereignty over oneself. Think of fire. Uncontained, it destroys. Controlled, it warms, it illuminates, it forges. So it is with anger, with desire, with fear. Without restraint, these forces consume the soul. But with discipline, they become tools of transformation. The modern world teaches the opposite. It whispers, you feel it so, express it. You desire it so, claim it. You're offended, so retaliate. But the Stoic hears this and smiles, unmoved. He understands that what is common is rarely what is wise. Every moment becomes a test. You scroll through distractions. You see provocation disguised as entertainment. You are baited into comparison, into outrage, into mindless consumption. For restraint whispers, not this, not now. And each time you listen to that whisper, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. Like a warrior training, not for the easy battle, but for the inevitable one. You become prepared, not for the imaginary crises of the mind, but for the real storms life will surely bring. Epictetus warned, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And what lies beyond your control? The reactions of others, the shifting tides of opinion, the noise of the crowd. Restraint is the conscious refusal to give these things the keys to your peace. You reclaim that authority. You become the gatekeeper of your own mind. Consider this. What kind of strength does it take to witness disrespect, to choose dignity, to feel anger rising and breathe instead of bursting, to feel desire swell and to say no, not because you cannot have it, but because you refuse to be enslaved by it. The world will call this stoicism cold, but they misunderstand. This is not coldness, it is clarity. It is the refusal to be ruled by whatever happens to float through the mind. The Stoic does not suppress emotion, he masters its expression. He feels fully, but chooses wisely. A man without restraint is a leaf in the wind. A man with restraint is the tree that watches the wind pass, unmoved, rooted. In restraint, there is immense freedom. Freedom from regret, from shame, from the chains of momentary foolishness. The restraint today becomes the peace tomorrow. It becomes the quiet pride of knowing you remained aligned with your values, even when your instincts begged you to betray them. Restraint does not mean withdrawal. It means intentionality. The Stoic does not disappear from life. He engages it fully, passionately, but on his terms. He speaks when speaking serves truth. He acts when action serves virtue. And when neither is called for, he remains still. This stillness, this restraint, is not visible to the world. It does not win applause, but it wins something greater, the quiet, steady knowledge that you are sovereign over yourself. And from this sovereignty comes a life lived not in reaction, but in response, not in compulsion, but in choice. This is the mastery of restraint, silent strength that carries the Stoic through the storms of life, not unfailing, but unbroken. There is a quiet kind of power that does not scream for attention. It does not seek validation, nor demand recognition. It simply exists, solid, grounded, and unwavering. This is the power the Stoic seeks to cultivate, a power that lives not in words, but in presence. It is the power of being deeply aligned with one's own principles, of standing firm in the midst of chaos, and of moving through life with a sense of inner sovereignty that no external force can erode. The weight of inner power is heavy. but it is a burden gladly carried by those who understand its worth. This power is not born from dominance over others, but from mastery over oneself. It comes from knowing that your worth is intrinsic, not something granted or revoked by circumstance or the opinions of others. Imagine standing at the edge of a storm. The winds howl, the sky darkens, and everything around you trembles. But within you there is stillness, not because the storm does not exist, but because you have cultivated the capacity to remain unmoved. This is the essence of inner power. The world may try to sway you, but it cannot break you. Others may misunderstand you, but they cannot define you. Circumstances may change, but your integrity does not. This strength is forged in discomfort, in moments of doubt, in seasons of solitude. It is built each time you choose discipline over distraction, principle over popularity, and silence over needless reaction. It is a quiet declaration to the world and to yourself. I am enough as I am. I do not need to perform for acceptance, nor compromise for approval. Inner power transforms how you experience adversity. Challenges become teachers. Pain becomes fuel. Failure becomes refinement. You begin to see that life does not happen to you, happens for you, offering endless opportunities to practice resilience, to embody virtue, and to deepen your sense of self-mastery. And yet, this power is not rigid. It is not the brittle hardness of someone who shuts out the world. It is a flexible, living force. It adapts without compromising. It bends without breaking. It allows you to engage fully with life's joys and its sorrows while remaining rooted in your truth. There is immense dignity in walking this path, a dignity that does not waver with fortune or falter under pressure. It is the quiet confidence of knowing that you are the author of your own life, the steward of your own soul, that regardless of what the external world brings, your inner world remains your sanctuary. This is the weight of inner power. It is not light. It demands effort, vigilance, and continuous practice, but it is the only weight worth carrying. For in it lies true freedom, not freedom from difficulty, but freedom in how you meet it. Not freedom from pain, but freedom in how you transform it. Not freedom from the opinions of others, but freedom in knowing they cannot touch the essence of who you are. The Stoic way is not an escape from life's challenges. It is a courageous, intentional engagement with them. It is choosing to rise again and again, not because it is easy, but because it is right. It is the daily, deliberate decision to embody resilience, to live with purpose, and to hold fast to the quiet, powerful truth of your own existence. This is the discourse of hidden strength, the strength that cannot be seen, but always felt, the strength that endures, the strength that liberates, the strength that lasts.